particular tool is called SCISPACE, is coming from SCISPACE, is an AI assistant for research. SCISPACE is science workspace combined together. It's a nice platform, and as you can see, it's pretty simple. It works very nicely with Chrome and Opera, and you can also get your extension on those, at least those browsers. You can log in and start using it as a proper platform, so you can actually have your papers there and play with the papers and highlight things and searching things, and the whole history is recorded, so you can go back and continue. Or you can use them just without being logged in and just search things like as if you're searching through Google, but it does a bit more in-depth search with giving you some analytics, etc. It is important to say a few of the highlights of this platform. It can be used for plagiarism detection. It's got more than 270 million papers, so I guess it's pretty much like all the papers out there, most probably whatever is on Google. It's got some templates for formatting papers, so you can use that if you want to format a paper, your first paper, say, and you don't know how to. It allows for PDF downloads if they're available on internet, and is also making, as you would expect, an article suggestion. So it's finding all these keywords from the papers that you're looking at and is suggesting you other papers to also read, which is pretty good, of course. So let's go to the Copilot to see how it looks like. As you can tell already, I'm logged in. You can see my name here. I'm gonna search for papers and stuff. So I'm thinking of writing something like perforated steel beams. And see what is coming out. Of course, yeah, as you can tell, it's like Google so far. It's giving you some suggestions, is recording citations. I guess these are taken by Scopus, because as far as I can tell, they are fewer than the citations I've got on Scholar. It gives you the abstract of the paper, it gives you the too long, didn't read, sort of like 2-line summary, and of course you can save, you can cite it, and you can share the paper. And a very cool feature is this trace thing, where once you click it, it gives you some more information about the paper. So if the paper is there is got a link, it gives you the link straight away, so you can click it and that will take you straight to the paper on the Science Direct for this particular one. And a very cool feature is that is giving you some percentages on the topics that this paper is including. So it says backlink, because I've searched backlink before, and it says this is 51% backlink, so it does deal with backlink. Good to know. If you move on here, pretty cool is that he's taking all these sections and subsections of your paper and then is breaking down to some highlights. And it's very useful because, of course, if you are going to read the whole paper, you want before that to have a quick go through that to see if it is useful or not. So you don't just want the summary, you don't just want the abstract, you want a bit more information but not read the whole paper. So what it does here, it's just breaking these bullet points. I think this is a very good suggestion actually. Is telling you some information. I need to say that not all information is pretty useful. So some information is just like the meaning of that paragraph, which may not be useful for you. But here we are. I mean, you can get some information out of that, especially when it comes to some percentage, etc. And also the nice thing is that you look at the paper in a very systematic way, broken down, and actually helps you understand what the paper is all about. So that is pretty good at. And then it gives you the conclusions also in bullet points and some pictures, etc. So it's pretty useful. It gives you the citations. Always we say it's good to know who has cited our paper so we can go back and track other papers. It gives you the references and straight the links and everything, and some information about the authors and contributing university, etc. Now, very important is these related papers, where you can see the papers are related and you can actually click on that one and then takes you to the next level. So again, another analysis for that paper. So it's very systematic the way that it is used, because it goes from one layer to the second layer to the third layer, and you can actually help you read quite a lot, learn quite a lot about this field in a very short time. So pretty cool features, and I really like that. But as I said before, when you read through these bullet points, you just realize that not everything is very useful, very important. So I guess those kind of information will change as the AI models behind it get better over the time, but at the same time there is an element of complexity because the paper may not be very well written. Now, the next thing that you can do is actually go and start uploading papers. So I've uploaded here a few papers. I'm just going to go and click on one of them, and I've already done a little bit of analysis. So this thing is called a predefined 12 questions. So once you load the paper, you've got an opportunity to go through a set of predefined questions, and there are always 12 questions there, and you can check like what are the methods used in this paper, and then it gives you a bit of a summary of what the methods are. Takes a bit of time. Now, what I've realized is that once you go through this again and again and again, you will find out that some of this information that is presented as the summary or the explanation is pretty similar. So it's repeating the same understanding of the paper. So it reads the paper, it makes quite a lot of information about it, and then it's taking that information and is throwing it to some of the questions. So if you go there and ask about the limitations of the paper, then it will say the same thing with a bit different way, and it will present the same information again. So what I'm trying to say is not that it's something bad, but it's not really sophisticated in the way that it is analyzing the paper. It is giving you a lot of information, don't take me wrong. It can be very helpful, but it's not as if you have an expert next to you and is your assistant. It's not exactly an expert. It's an AI tool that is learning through that is helping you to do your job in a more timely fashion, and certainly in a better way. Now, another cool feature is using that explain math and table. So you click on that, and then you can go and you can pick sort of like a set of formulae, and you ask for it what that is. So what it's trying to do, I guess, is connect that information with whatever is available in the paper, and it's trying to explain now this for you. So it takes a bit of a time, takes a few seconds, and then it gives you an explanation. Well, especially for those who don't really want to learn that formula and use it in their research, but they want to understand what were the key things out of this formula. So what the authors wanted to do and how did they do it. So of course you can get a lot of information from just reading the paragraphs above and below, but understanding a little bit more about the formula, it gives you some more insight. So pretty cool feature. The other thing is the tables and the figures. Now, when it comes to figures, of course, it has to be a pretty clean figure and it has to make sense, because it's not really easy to explain a figure if you don't have much context. However, it's trying, and let's see what he's going to come up with. Let me just read it quickly. Pin support. The pin support is the type of support. Yeah, okay. He's understanding some of the words and is giving explanations about these words, but it's not the proper point of that figure. Sphere constrained, 8 kilometers in this cause sphere constrained nodes refer to nodes in the structural system that are constrained. Yeah, so I think most of the information that is giving here is sort of kind of Wikipedia information, like what is a pin support, what is a roller, what is a sphere. So it's not really giving you any context about what this figure is actually presenting, but is picking out words and is giving you some terminology about these words, which is not actually what we wanted. And let's see what it's going to do with a table. So that was a bit faster, and it says the table highlights, highlighted text presents table 2, blah, blah, blah. The table has 4 columns, so it's explaining the table, what the units are. The stock has 200 meters with a minimum length of... So that, to me, is a bit of what we used to do when we were writing the IELTS exams. So you had a table or a figure, and you had to describe it. Nothing else. So what did you observe? No conclusions. It was not linked to anything else. It was just describing what you see. And this is what it's doing. It's describing a table rather than linking that table to the information of the paper, to the context. And let's try this one. I have a gut feeling that it will not be able to understand that sort of figure. But let's give it a try. Okay, it did understand it, so it's actually pretty good. Some of the information that is giving, it's pretty accurate, and it gets the meaning of that. So definitely it managed to connect it with the information of the paper. So pretty good. So what you can do here, if you actually like the what it gives you, you can give it a thumbs up. And that means that it worked well, and I guess the company is getting the feedback when you give it a thumbs up, and is actually training the algorithms behind it. So if you want to give it a thumbs up and write a feedback, that will help the company quite a lot. One cool feature is, as we said before, that you can select things and then you can ask for it to explain the text or to find related papers. Amazing feature. And of course to highlight and write comments, so you can work on that paper at the same time. One more thing that you can do, I mean there's plenty of things that you can do, but the ones that I feel that are the most important is to change the language. So if your English is not good, or if you want to get something in a different language, then you can change that to a different language and you get the information there in that language. So pretty cool. I'm not sure how reliable that will be, but you have that feature as well. And in general, there are a lot of filters that you can play with and get more information the way you want it to. Now, what we haven't seen shown actually is the write a question feature. So a part of the standard questions, a part of getting the explanations on the maths and the tables, you can also ask. So you can say, tell me what is the most important conclusion of this paper. I would ask more general questions rather than very specific ones when it comes to AI assistants. I wouldn't be able to get that information. Oh, we had it already in Chinese, so let's turn that in English and ask the question again. I think I will have to ask the question again. But I really like this Copilot thing that is tracking everything, because you can go back and you can read the whole history of the of your research, if you like. So the most important conclusion of this paper is that it presents effective structural optimization techniques for designing spatial structures for used elements the paper introduces. So however, the paper omits generic compatibility. So it's got also some limitations, which is pretty good, which means that updated structures might violate deflection constraints, okay, future work and some future work. So actually it's a good kind of summary, again, that you could get a similar answer if you're writing what is the summary. So again, coming back to what I said before, it's not really inventing new information, but it's just changing the way it says exactly the same thing. So it got something out of paper and is presenting it with a few different ways. You can also ask it to tell you what the abbreviations are and some more information about the authors and the citations, the references, etc. Now, another kind of thing that I would like to show out of these things here is this Paraphraser, which I really like it. So you can actually copy paste a text here and ask for it to paraphrase it for you. Again, because you may be a student and you may want to do that for your thesis, for your courseworks, please pay a lot of attention in the way that things are paraphrased. So you want to be very specific. When we write these kind of papers, we are super specific. We don't change the word just for the sake of changing the word. We're always trying to use the same kind of work because this is exactly the work that resembles the meaning of what we want to say. So do the same. Do not just paraphrase text and throw it in your thesis. And I have to say that another problem that you will face if you keep on paraphrasing stuff is that the whole document that you're presenting in your thesis or coursework, it will not be coherent. So make sure that if you want to paraphrase something for the sake of that, doing it, but don't use that as a tool for paraphrasing the entire thesis or something. Or like you found a paper and you want to copy that, you paraphrase it and you copy. Don't do that. It's not only unethical, but actually will create more chaos into your work, so it's not a good advice. And finally, there's an AI detector, which is a pretty cool feature, and is giving you what is the percentage of AI that is in your text. So, in other words, if you keep on getting information from AI, from ChatGPT or others, and then you are putting that text into your document, there is going to be a way for your assessors, your examiners, to find whether that is an AI product. Okay, so again, I know that people want to use the AI and ChatGPT and all these platforms in order to make their projects better. But the AI is better than you, that you want to use the AI, right? So the AI detector will fight back the AI generator. So just make sure that you're not in the middle of that battle and you're just using things wisely rather than overusing it without make sense. So I think that's my pretty humble and honest opinion about SCISPACE. I haven't really checked any other tool, so I cannot really comment whether that is better than anything else. It looks to me that it's a very well packaged platform. It's got quite a lot of features. It is pretty simple to use. I actually used it for a second time now that I'm recording this video. So it's pretty simple. I know that there are other things that I haven't really mentioned, but frankly speaking, I just wanted to make aware that this is something that yes, you can use for helping you in your research. There's nothing wrong about it, but use it cautiously. If you found any interesting ways of using it, or if you found some mistakes by using it, feel free to drop a comment down below, and I'll be very excited to see like how people have actually used it and what kind of product did they come up with. And of course, how many times these kind of tools help us to do something better than the one we were doing before. One of the things that I would like to highlight again is that we have to make sure that by using these kind of tools, we don't become dumb. On the other hand, let's try to use these kind of tools to actually make us cleverer. So read more, be more efficient, more productive, understanding what is out there, doing a better analysis, a faster analysis, finding more information, then going back and actually reading that paper in depth. So having more time to go back and read that paper in depth. This is what you want to do, and not really make your life easier by not doing the job and let an AI tool to do the job for you. At the end of the day, if that happens, not many people will have the skills in a few years to write these kind of papers, which means that we will then rely 100% on what the AI machines and the algorithms are generating for us, and we wouldn't be able to actually catch with their progress. I think this is going to happen at some point anyway, but let's not expedite that process, and let's make sure that that process is happening with a very right pace, in a way that we can actually control the development and be part of it rather than being excluded. So with that being said, I hope you found that opinionated approach of what this tool is useful, and if you have any comments, feel free to put them down below. With that said, bye bye until next time.